Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, June 8, 2023. I'm Rochelle Batiste with the details. Some fisherfolk across the island will receive a small change from the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is according to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves during NBC Radio face-to-face program on Wednesday. Prime Minister Gonsalves was at the time outlining the finances spent on the port modernization project and the impact the project might have had on the fishing routine of some fisherfolk.
Give the fisherfolk, as you would say on the block, a piece of change now.
Yeah, a small change. A small change,
It wasn't a fishing ground. They haven't lost anything there, but you have those who might have had transient fishing now, like fish swim now. And if you catch a couple of barracuda passing now, they have a list about 66 persons from the Calico, down at the Calico Fish Market, have been given by the Fisheries Division and with consultation with the people out there. And 23 from, a few from Oya, Shipping Bay, and from Indian Bay and Great Head. So those are the areas. And I want to put aside some money there to fix up a little thing by Shipping Bay. I have about half a dozen people who fish there, and then to do something down by Lomans where we move the brethren them, the fisher folk from down at Rose Place now. Then of course there's some developmental work has to be done with resources, and I want to put a little piece of it aside for rainy day now.
And Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport and Works, Montgomery Daniel, says as a global cooperation and trading framework, the GCTF conceptualized by Taiwan seeks to build its platform in addressing critical global challenges across the region. One important factor of concern to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is climate change, and that he is hoping that the issue is given a greater level of consideration with a view of having action taken to help small island developing states such as SVG tackle the problem. Minister Daniel was at the time addressing the GCTF seminar hosted here on Tuesday at the Kingston Baptist Church.
The effects of climate change are hurting and are already becoming a drain on the public purse. So, I urge that in your deliberations today and in the future, that this topic be given some level of consideration. As a matter of fact, be placed high on your agenda for intense discussions with the view of having serious actions taken. So let me thank the GCTF for the many training programs it has accomplished over the last 8 years or so of its existence, and the many subject areas it has covered, including public health, energy security, disaster relief, law enforcement, media literacy.
Expressing gratitude to Taiwan for selecting SVG to host the GCTF seminar, Minister Daniel noted that St. Vincent and the Grenadines continues to benefit immensely from Taiwan.
This government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has over the years, in no small measure, benefited tremendously from our relationships with Taiwan for well over 42 years. We have benefited in agriculture, in healthcare, in education, in commerce, YES program, the SET program, and many, many, many more. We are grateful and thankful to the government and people of Taiwan. And so, I want to assure you, Ambassador, that this government will continue to work with the government and people of Taiwan and with the GCTF as we strive to make a better world for all our people. long live our relationships with Taiwan and the government and people of Taiwan.
The GCTF seminar, which was hosted by the local embassy of the Republic of China on Taiwan, the U.S. Embassy in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, and the OECS, was held under the theme Tending to Tomorrow's Talents, Today's Technical and Vocational Training Tools and Techniques for Developing States in the Caribbean and Latin America. On June 1st, 2015, Taiwan and the United States signed a Memorandum of Understanding to establish the GCTF, a platform which seeks to address global issues of mutual concerns. 2 new justices of the peace were sworn in here today at Government House. They are former head of the traffic branch of the RSVG Police Force, Kenneth John, and teacher Kendall Sam. Speaking at the swearing-in ceremony, Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Susan Duggan, told the newly sworn-in justice of the peace that she is confident that they will uphold a code of conduct and responsibilities since they have served the country well, and that their appointment is another avenue for them to serve their country. Carnival or Vinci Mass is blossoming well. This is according to Prime Minister Dr. Raul Gonzalez, who on NBC Radio Face-to-Face program yesterday said that the spirit of Carnival is already in the people. However, he noted that the only thing that is marring the festival is persons using calypso chants to spur the most vulgar, defamatory and lying statements.
The things are taking place all over the country. Well, Carnival happening.
With Georgetown,
you know,
was gone. Yeah.
One thing I'm worried about is that the CDC is spending so much money. I hope they were keeping a look on the dollars. I was talking to James Gibson. He's the finance man at CDC. The spirit of Carnival is in our people. And the only thing which is marring it is fellas who want to use a calypso tent for the most base, vulgar, defamatory, lying, false statements. But you see, if their leaders open the gate, them feel like a walk through. And that's what they call social commentary, though. But when I heard about that the next morning, well, in fact, there was vileness from the mouths of the opposition in Parliament on the Thursday. And at the 10th, same Thursday night, it only got viler. You know? As I say, the NDP leaders open, because I remember I told you earlier, you know, is vile, vileness, divisiveness, anger, defamation, commerce, falsehoods, defamation, worthless innuendos, all of these things. And some of the same set of fellas, they got on their political platform with the same set of vileness, you know, and lies and slander. But again, a patience and a calm. You hear me, Johnny P?
Yes, yes.
I got a letter of apology written by
IPA?
he had spoken to me on the phone by IPA, and he said he'd write me a letter, and he did. In fact, I got the letter yesterday. So, but Carnival is mass and is music.
On the issue of venues to host carnival activities in light of his recent pronouncement that hard courts and schools will not be used to host fetes, Prime Minister Gonzalez said he is not changing his mind that the Arnoldville hard court will not be used to host wet fetes.
When I made the point about the hard courts which people would mash up, there are some hard courts which are just essentially a slab of concrete.
Right.
Johnny P, they can't mash that up. You see what I mean? And I said there are other alternative venues. And I say you could have a wet fete on a particular park. Let's, for instance, you're having a wet fete up at down at Chateaubelair playing field. The Chateaubelair playing field is not a field which is really fit now to play.
Right.
So you're going to mash that up. But you can have a wet fete at Arnoldville 1. Johnny P.
Right, good.
Now in Canada 1, where, given the limitations of facilities, there's just the hard court to hold things. So you have to control that properly.
Okay.
But you allow it. For those persons who said that if they don't, for instance, remember Luke Bowie said that without his fete down at Arnoldville, there's no carnival. Yeah?
Yeah.
You remember he said that we had carnival before Luke used to put on fete, you know? And Carnival will survive that. And I said he can hold his fete elsewhere. But you think by beating me up on radio and people calling and writing in that's going to change my mind? But I don't understand this. And I tell all of them, meet me in November 2025 when I have elections. Go to the people and tell them, don't vote for me because I stop you from whole a wet fed to mash up the Annisvale hardcoat. I'd love that. Bring that as an issue in the election. Eh? And then let me let go my tongue for you then. Eh? I'm a man of a patience and a calm, sun brightened stone and all the river burns. To quote the poet again. Eh?
And representatives of the three components that fuel Vincy Mass, namely Mass, Pan, and Calypso, were discussing preparation for this year's festival on the VC Roundtable program last evening. President of the Calypsonian Association, Earl Cabot Bennett, says the challenge the Calypsonian Association has faced thus far in terms of preparation for the festival this year is a decrease in sponsorship.
Money is important in anything that you do, and the sponsorship this year is not as good as it used to be like yesteryear. So much so, you have to personally invest into the art form because you like the art form. And where your heart is, once your heart is in something, you do what you can do legally to ensure that it succeeds. And we know how Calypso is on the totem pole right now. And you were speaking about being relevant, keeping in modern times, and we are trying to get the Calypsonians to adapt. Some of them have been adapting because the most important thing, remember, we don't sing for ourselves, we sing for our patrons. If you don't have any patrons, it's come like a useless exercise in fertility.
And President of the Yulu Pan movement, Rodney Small, said two of the major challenges facing the association thus far, including the tuning and building of steel pans and the need for larger space to accommodate band members.
But we have a challenge that something that probably don't seem very appealing, or for a better word, sexy to the young people, where tuning is concerned. The tuning and the building of the instruments. And I mean, Francis Peslow, they have done a great job in terms of his contribution to the steel pan and semi-means. We had T-Man, right, tall boy, may soul rest in peace, who did his part also. But as it is now, we really don't have any full-time tuners in Smithson and Grenadines. We had two officers from the police band went and they did their course. They're now back here and try to get back into the whole industry of seeing how they can help with that deficiency. But our bands now, that will take a while for them to, you know what I mean, get into the industry as tuners, because you know the bands have to see your work and you have to trust what you're doing. But as it is now, a majority of our bands sent to Trinidad for their tuners, and some of the bands indicated to me that it is now double the price to tune your bands. And as an executive, we went to see the Prime Minister and have a conversation about this, and it's something that we have to address immediately, because it is hard for us to, not just for Carnival, but for the bands to be functioning and spending out approximately $6,000, $7,000 EC dollars for tuning. That is a big percentage of what you would make in Carnival going outside of St. Vincent and Grenadines.
And a representative of the Carnival Bands Association, Fernando Serrier, said sponsorship is also a major challenge for the various mass bands and encourage more business places to support Vincy Mass and its various components.
We support the business places by purchasing material
and so on, yeah,
and contact cement and all kind of things. And I think that they should be more involved in the art form, in the three components, supporting and helping, not in, like you said, not in a big way, but the little thing will help. Because even on Carnival Day now, persons come from overseas, they would want to shop, they would want to get stuff, buy drinks, and that is because of Carnival, and because of the components, and also because of mass, right? Because, I mean, that's somebody, we're not saying that we don't have persons out there who support business places. Yes, some of them do support. They do that every year. But we still need the others now to come out. Those that benefiting more than those that supporting. They're not doing nothing. Because all the water, all the drinks, all the contact cement, all the things we buy, even the plastic to make the headpieces, we buy that coming back. And We don't get no support from them. When you send a letter to them, they will tell you things not too good, but we're buying still. You know, we're still buying stuff. And that is what one thing that is causing problems, you know, and the mass men have to suffer because of some of those things, because they have to dip into their pocket, you know, and help purchase things and get stuff. You know, so I think like everybody's saying that the government should, you know, do something about it. Get the business people, give them some incentive, or let them come out and assist them as the components.
In other local news now, we hear that over 80 children from across St. Vincent and the Grenadines who are musically inclined are expected to participate in this year's police band summer program. The summer program runs for 4 weeks starting on July 17th. On the police cop chat program today on radio, Sergeant Dyker Matthews said the summer program helps to build a cadre of musicians who can take up job opportunities locally or abroad.
There are several bands in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know, you can even go overseas, look on ship, they take musicians. So you as a musician, you can get a work on the ship as a musician. You can get a work in different bands overseas. You can go to England and join an army band, join a police band, in a military band or whatever. So that is one thing about the music and what we'll teach you in our summer program. And another thing, when we talk about reading music, right? Now music has 4 voices, right? They are the alto, the tenor, soprano, and the bass. And if a man is soloing, you know, he is playing by himself and he plays leads. But now when you put the 4 voices together, it is very hard for you to be playing without music. I mean, playing your part, whether alto, soprano, tenor, or bass. So you have to get your part. So when I play my part and you play your part, and we come together. When I play my part, you play your part, and we come together, then we get a sweet melodious song. So that's why reading, it is important. And in our band, we teach theory.
Okay.
Theory is reading. Theory before practical.
Sergeant Matthews is hoping that some of the participants in this year's summer program will learn to play a wind instrument, noting that the majority usually gravitate to playing the drum, steel pan, and the keyboard.
We're giving you a foundation. We try to teach you a foundation, because when you had left the summer program, when you have left the summer program, you can go outside, look for your own instrument, because instruments are there in the million selling. You know, your parents can buy you an instrument, and then you get a tutor. You could even come to the band and get a tutor from the band, you know, to give you an ongoing training, you know, because what we teach you at the summer program, that ain't it. Music is a wide range, you know, it's a wide range. You can't learn everything in 2 years, 3 years. Not even music, you know everything. You know, you're not too old to learn, but then from what we teach you in the summer program, you can get your own instrument, and then you can carry on from there. Get a tutor somewhere, and then continue.
Okay.
Because you there's all time space for building, you know, space for learning.
Meanwhile, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Coast Guard Service, in partnership with the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Sagicor Life Incorporated, Wind and Sea Tours Limited, and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Port Authority, will launch its annual Youth Development Summer Program on Monday, July 17, 2023. The program is commemorating its 30th anniversary this year. It caters to participants aged 14 to 18 and will be conducted under the theme 30 Years of Shaping Our Youths for Life's High Seas.